Celsa Lucero.
Missing 11/09/40-11 a.m. -3:30 p.m. Manzano Mountains NM. Age at disappearance, 51 years. Disabled deaf. The Manzano Mountains, southeast of Albuquerque, are a chain of mountains that run south and parallel to the city. The mountains are not what you think of the normal landscape of the state. They are large, green, and filled with large trees. On November 9, 1940, Celsa Lucero left her home in Los Duranes and traveled with her family to the mountains to spend the day picking piñon seeds, also known as pine nuts. Celsa had made a large and thick mitten for her left hand, so the pine needles wouldn't injure her, and she had dressed extremely warmly. She even was found to be carrying matches just in case she was out and got cold. Celsa had a lifelong disability. She was deaf. The majority of the Lucero group sisters, nephews, etc., left their campsite at 0:30 a.m. and agreed to be back at 3:30 p.m. Celsa was seen in camp until near 11 a.m. She then left, momentarily, traveling with another camper. Eventually Celsa split off and went after piñons on her own. At 3:30 p.m., the campers were starting to meet at their campsite, and by 4 p.m., they started to get nervous that Celsa hadn't arrived. The family built a large fire to ward off the chilling temperatures and to allow Celsa to see where they were located. The family understood that yelling for Celsa would be fruitless because she was deaf. The family searched through the night, and on November 10th, they led into the city and contacted the U.S. Forest Service for assistance. The formal search for Celsa went off and on for 2 weeks. Newspapers at the time stated that searchers had to quit several times because of record-breaking cold weather that was hitting the mountains. The family knew that Celsa was dressed warmly and had matches, but aircraft, horsemen, hikers, and bloodhounds were not finding anything. Elcia Lucero was Celsa's brother and kept the search up for his sister long after others gave up. A November 10, 1941, article in the Albuquerque Journal explained Elcia's concerns nearly a year after Celsa disappeared. "We have found no trace of her since she left
camp," he said Sunday.
"Not even the coffee can she carried to put her piñons in or her mitten." He explained that his sister had made a thick mitten for her left hand to protect it from the pine needles. Celsa walked away from her camp in El Cañon de la Carolina, on the western slope of the Manzanos. In total there were over 350 searchers scouring the mountains looking for the woman. The New Mexico State Police, sheriff's deputies, police officers, forest rangers, Navajo Indians, and dozens of volunteers struggled through 1:1 weeks of freezing temperatures in a fruitless effort to find Celsa. To the best of my knowledge, Celsa was never found. This is another example where a female is in the woods picking some type of food source and she disappears. Compounding the issue was Celsa's disability and the freezing weather hitting the region.